How about this? When was the last time you went on a trip or a vacation with your family? Huh? If you only had money to go on either a trip with your mate or your family this year, which one would you choose? Don't say anything, because we're going to come back to it at the end of this. And welcome officially to the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast, where we believe in every season of life, you need to laugh, learn, and love. And we got a good one today, where we talk about taking couples trip on any budget or a family vacation on any budget. I'm your host, Mr. AKA Jeffrey Mr. Right beside me is my wife of 15 plus years, almost 16 years.
Mrs. Mr. AKA Dana Mr. And together we are
the Mr. Yeah. And we're
so excited about today.
Yes.
Because we love this lady. Jerrica Cook is in the house. Y'all,
wife,
mother,
of two,
business owner,
entrepreneur,
yes,
travel extraordinaire.
Yes.
And she's gonna keep it real. What I love about Jerrica is she keeps it real.
100, yes.
All the way. I've never seen her not keep it 100. So when we're thinking of somebody who knows how to travel, who can, navigate this, and somebody's like, we ain't took a trip alone. Never, ever, ever. We ain't take a honeymoon. We ain't did nothing. How can we get out of this? But so if it's you or you.
And you know what? I didn't realize, I guess because we've been traveling since May 2020. We wasn't one of them people that stayed. We stayed in the house for a little bit, but then, it was like, COVID is here. We're going to operate accordingly. But I didn't realize until I talked to a lot of people, like a lot of people have not traveled since 2020. So
they've been fighting each other out there. I can't stand the way you breathe. Can't stand the way you chew. And so you need to get away. You need to get away real quick. So with no further ado, we're introducing, y'all put your hands together for the illustrious Mrs. Jerrica Cook.
Hey y'all. Thank you so much for the invite. I'm super excited.
Thank you for joining. So I do want y'all to think about your answer. If you could only pick one, you could pick a couple's trip with your boo or a family. If you're gonna pick one. Only one. Don't say your answer right now. I'm gonna ask you again after we get this discussion talked about today. Maybe your answer will change. And we'll see. And if you listen or watch it, wherever you listen or watch it, hit that subscribe button, whatever it is. And I want you to write it down too. Which one would I take, with my boo thing or with these little gremlins that I keep around all the time? So let me know. Okay. All right. Get into it. Right. Okay. So let's start off. What is the wildest couples trip memory that you have, or family vacation that you have? Wildest memory.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Go ahead, Jerrica. You go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying wildest. There really hasn't been like a wild.
Okay.
Remember, I would say if it was couples trip, I would say maybe as going on a trip with some other couples, and it was just drama. Like not drama, like
a reality show type drama.
It was like behind the scenes drama that like why did I get married? Y'all seen that movie? You know what I mean?
Wow.
You had this animosity in the air kind of thing, and nobody would kind of talk about it. Huh?
We all got secrets, Marcus.
Yeah.
on that time period part.
But the thing about it is, if you're on a couples trip, to me, that's the opportunity to kind of bounce stuff off other people. You know what I mean? And kind of, how do y'all do it? And to me, to be able to do that, you have to be honest. I mean, honesty has to be there.
Yes, most definitely.
I
think for me, when you say wildest, so I could a couple of them stick out of my mind. I think the first time we did a couples trip, you remember we went to Dallas, and you remember it was
Mr.
Robert. We were checking into the hotel. You got to show it, but Mr. Robert, baby, everything like this hotel. This was before COVID, so this was way before COVID. So it was like, well, what time is breakfast? We don't have no breakfast.
We got.
And then he was like, I was like, so, well, can we get a king size bed? We don't have no more king size bed.
We were like, bro.
No.
So we were like, okay, so this is our first couples trip, you know. So we was like, well, dang, what do you have,
He's like, I ain't
right?
got nothing.
And then I think another one too is when we were traveling we was traveling to the beach, and you remember all of a sudden the glass popped out in the van. Like
the van
we was driving, all of a
smashed.
and like the glass just shattered. So we had to stop over in Mobile. Like, so I don't know, maybe look, the sales, the Andersons, the Cooks, I don't know, maybe it's us.
Yeah, we had a full
So,
tank.
yeah.
Here you go.
But good times. Those are two that sticks out. That's Mr. Robert.
Yeah, this is Mr. Robert. If you are looking, let me
Hold
see.
on.
This is
Why
Mr.
you
Robert.
took this man picture though?
I had
Why
to take it.
you got this man
is
picture
Mr.
in your phone? That's what
I
I
don't
want.
know who's that. If you know, I say that's one of my favorites. If you know Mr. Robert,
Wow.
This is
Yeah,
Mr.
Dallas,
Robert.
Texas. Dallas,
Wow.
We ain't
If
got
I
no
see
more. We
him,
ain't got no more
I'm
king size
running,
beef.
okay? If I see him, I'm
Ain't
running.
no more breakfast.
Like,
Ain't no more
I'm just
breakfast.
like, it's no more breakfast. It's no more king beds. It was like, well, dang, what?
You know
First of all, I was
what?
like, what kind of hotel is this?
Right,
I
look at the
was
way he
just
look
about
at
to
him.
ask that. I
Can
mean,
y'all see
if
me?
he came up to the front desk, meaning no disrespect, Mr. Roberts, but what was y'all saying? What was
That was
y'all?
a Courtyard Marriott. That
Yeah.
was the thing. Look, this was early on before, you know, we had a little money. So it was like, we want to do this couples trip. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy,
Yes.
craziness to see.
yes.
Mine real quick was we were in Vegas. We had to do a timeshare thing. We did a timeshare thing. We're gonna talk about this in just a minute too.
Yeah.
You don't know what that is, but so we went. You know, you do the whole thing. They promised us some tickets to a show. So I'm like you, Jerry. I'm 100%. You tell me something, I'm gonna go to the T of what happened, right? So I'm in the office. They give us 2 tickets, but it's like buy one get one. I said, nah, this is not the ticket we were promised. And so I go back to the office, and the guy's like, sir, we'll be with you in just a second, right? And so I saw a European older couple get service before I did. So I'm sitting back fuming. Long story short, they called the casino security on me. So I'm like, oh, y'all gonna call it a black man? That's what y'all gonna do. And so they're like, you're gonna need to step outside. I was like, we can have a conversation in here in front of everybody like that. And I called them, I was like, I might be going to jail. I'm letting you know at this point. And so crazy.
Yeah, that's the reason why I don't like timeshares at all. No,
crazy to this point.
Yeah. Because this is the thing about timeshares. Like they just sitting there talking, and so Jeff, you will see a different side with Jeff. Like you'll see a different side, and like
You
Jeff
have
become
to.
downright mean, and so
You have to because they're aggressive.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you. If you're not clear with it, if you give any slither of hope, they are trained to find that little gap and keep on going. You'll be there to run with it.
It'll really ruin your vacation.
Okay, so many of us be what we see. Did you all see your parents go on couples trips or family vacations growing up? What's that with you, Jake? What is it?
I didn't see my parents go on couples trips. They didn't, they spent a lot of time with themselves and they did things. But they took us a lot of places. Like, that was back in the day when Vegas was nasty. They took us to Vegas. Yeah, even though they just dropped us off in the hotel, I was like, okay, y'all make it. We'll see you when we get back because we're about to go gamble, we were walking down the strip, like exploring Vegas. Now, that I'm 40, I really realized like that's a really bad idea, and I would not do that.
What age were you?
Oh God, man, how many times? Like we probably went to Vegas like 10 times.
So Vegas was like the family vacation.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was back then. The pre-Vegas was.
Oh yeah,
it was popping. Let's just say it was popping. It was popping.
Same question. Did you see your parents go on couples trips or?
No, I think couples trips became more something. I think later on in life, you know what I'm saying? Like back then, because you have to keep in mind, you decided I'm taking a family trip. You know what I'm saying? Or like I think my mom with my stepdad, she started taking they did their first cruise together, and so I started seeing
Don't
that.
Get pregnant out there, Gigi and public.
I saw that more. I was like in high school. When I saw that as well. So yeah. But I don't recall them taking a couples trip. maybe when I was in college, I saw more of that because she went on a cruise. Like my mom is a cruise fanatic.
That's what we're doing.
So my mom is a cruise fanatic. So I know her and her friends, they did like cruises and stuff like that. Even like for her birthday now in May, they doing a couples trip on a cruise. So yeah. My mom loves cruises.
Same.
I do too.
That's what I'm about to ask you guys about that in just a second. I didn't see a lot of that too. Like we took a few vacations. My mom now says she wished they took more vacations back, by that time. But it's always a reason why you kind of hear like, man, like what if, we can afford whatever it is. And so that's what we want to kind of talk about now. So some couples or just the wives or women say that they think it's selfish leaving their kids while they go on a trip together. Did you all feel guilty about taking a couple's trip with or without the kids? Why or why not? Jerrica was saying that you guys take mostly family vacations so far, right? So
we do, but we do. I make sure to plan a few couple trips, and when I say couples, I mean me and my husband, because I feel like, exactly. I feel like, marriage is work, and we all know that, right? But you have to find time and you have to prioritize your relationship together. And you have to make that extremely important. And put that on the top of the priority list, just like you do everything else. Because and to me, that time that we spend, whether it's once or twice a year, we'll go somewhere once or twice a year. Just me and Antoine. But it's so important. It's so important. I mean, being able to talk or watch TV
without any interruptions.
Yeah, without it being Ryan's World or playing Fortnite or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, just watching some grown folk shows and being able to rest, even if we don't do anything, we do it. It's important, and you need it. You absolutely need it for a healthy marriage.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, most definitely.
No doubt. Because we typically go on our anniversary every year of doing something. So we've kind of planned out things around that time. We can kind of go and be like.
And it used to be like short, but now I've stressed that thing out to like 9 days, 8 nights. Baby, I need my whole week in a day.
I ain't mad at you.
In a day.
I'm not mad.
Yes.
So finding time to connect with each other, and many times those little things become bigger things when you haven't got a chance to think back before you had kids. Before you had kids, it was just us. You had to kick it. Like we were talking about, man, back when we stayed at the apartment. We had to kick it that thing. Like, You want to go get some Cracker Barrel? Go get some
late at night. It doesn't matter.
After we had the half price appetizer after 9, we were getting the little boneless wings and cheese sticks. We had to worry about nobody watching kids. Once you have kids, kids are blessed.
Yeah, but
they're blessed, but you got to be prepared to keep some of those same magical things where you look at each other like, girl, you better, all right now.
And I think for me, when we first, one thing about it is just, like y'all, we traveled before we had kids, right? And so then when we had the kids, when we had Malia, I think my first one, when Malia was like 7 months, so we did, our anniversary came up, and I did feel guilty, and I was like, oh my goodness, but then like when we got away, I was like, okay, I could breathe. Like,
I was like, do this. You good, kid? All right, your bottle's over here. You good?
Yes.
You know what?
So the first one I felt guilty, but then after that, like after you conquered the first one, you're like, okay, I could do this. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I don't know what it is for me, but we travel so much as a family unit that even when I take business trips by myself, I would still no judgment. I would still get on the plane and cry. Like when the plane comes off, because I'm so used to having them with me, and so it always I don't say it necessarily makes me feel guilty. I just miss them because I'm so used to them being there for everything that I feel like I want them to experience whatever I'm about to go experience with them. But now after I get that little 10-second cry out. I'm gonna see y'all when I get home.
I know, right? Y'all good? Y'all good? All right, don't burn the house down.
Yeah.
Salute to the fellas out there holding down too, ladies as well.
But I will say this too, and I agree with you, Jerrica. I think one thing about it now, if I go somewhere new, that is hard for me because I'm like, man, I want them to experience this. Or I want Jeff to experience
We're
this.
going to let you know it.
You're like, well, I went to San Diego and Jeff haven't been to San Diego. My kids haven't been to San Diego. And I was like, dang, when I was out there, I was like, dang, I really wish they were here so we can experience this together. You know,
yeah.
so
we let them know too. We like, oh, so you don't love your family?
Yeah.
Oh,
thanks. That makes it better. That makes it better.
Right.
That makes it feel so much better. Thank you.
You want to get the little trip on? Okay. You guys have heard this too. I hear a lot of times of couples saying we can't go on a trip because of blank. What would you say? You guys hear going that blank? We can't. I see y'all on your little trip. You know, sometimes folks be slick hating a little bit to you. I see you on your little trip. Boy, you stay on
my
vacation.
number one thing is people always tell me is you're always on vacation. I was like, no, you only see what you see on Facebook, on social media. I'm not always on vacation. I usually just post when I'm on vacation because that's when I have an opportunity to post, right? But at the end of the day, I'm like, you're not in my pockets. Like, do I call you? You're much better than me. I'd be like, in the ears. I ain't. About to go on another one.
Hey, I got the Jeff approach. I'm Jeff. I'm with Jeff on this.
I got no problem.
Hey,
I got no problem telling you when to make.
Stay tuned because in about 30 days you're gonna see some more pictures.
You're gonna see my shirt. I would love my
for
time.
Me, I think okay. So like for some people, right, reading a book is their escape, right? Or going to the movies. Like for me, traveling, right? Because we work so hard. Like when you're in town, like we are grinding nonstop. Yeah. So for me, it's like when I'm away for the most part, right? And so and I'm still accessible for the most part. I'm away. So it's just something about just getting together away as a family without any interruptions. This is like, okay, I could breathe. And then it's about experiencing and exploring new things together as a family. So I believe that's what it is for a vacation, a trip. So whatever you want to call them, that's what it is for me.
People have said money, they're scared to fly, no initiative to book. So you got two people who, would rather like, well, you book it, wait on their spouse to plan it. Well, Earl ain't playing nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's why we ain't never going nowhere. And so why not take the initiative right now to kind of push yourselves to do that? How much money, if you can put a figure on that, do you need to have saved to take a trip? I know people looking right now, they're listening, they're watching, like, okay, you're right. I do need to take a trip. I've been a little dusty about it. How much money do you need saved to take a trip? That's kind of a general question.
Well, I think that's a hard question to answer. You don't really need a lot of money to take a trip. It all depends upon your initial budget. What do you have?
There you go.
I feel like you can do anything. So all those things that you named about reasons why people can't go anywhere, money or anything. Okay, you can go get your Starbucks coffee. Okay, well, that costs money, right? You can get them new J's when they drop. I see those got them things on Instagram. Okay, a pair of Nike shoes. I mean, a pair of Nikes. When you're dropping for 150, okay, that's 2 plane tickets. You know what I mean? So my thing is, it's not about you not having money. It's what you do with the money that you do have, right? And that's a big thing. Time. You can make time to go to the Jagged Edge concert of Yo Gotti coming in. You've got time for that. My thing is, what is important to you? And it's prioritizing those things and making sure that if vacationing and you experiencing the world and you disconnecting from your normal hustle and bustle day, if that stuff is important for you, then you prioritize those things. When you go back to budget, I think that it depends on, number one, how many people that you have traveling, where you're trying to go. My thing is, if I had little funds, and I didn't have any funds, I would look for things that I could number one drive to, that I didn't have to fly.
Right.
And within like maybe an hour radius or 2 hours from here. And that's literally you pulling up a map and you pinpointing where you are and saying, here's 2 hours or whatever you're comfortable driving with, right? Like for me, I know my limit is about 6-7 hours. 6-7 hours, I'm conked out. But if I put that on a map and I 6 or 7 hours away, Biloxi would fall in there. If I was a beach person, Biloxi, I hit Destin or Pensacola or any of those areas, right? And then my thing is too, meet your budget where it is. And what I mean by that is, if you only have a couple of $100, then maybe you staying beachfront isn't it.
It's
But
not.
you can still
Right.
go to the
Say
beach.
that,
Right.
say
You know what I
that.
mean? You can
Right.
stay a little bit further out where you may have to drive your kids to the beach, stay at a much cheaper resort or hotel
Yeah.
that's not charging all the extra fees, the
Right.
resort fees and things like that. And
Yes.
it has a continental breakfast.
Right.
You know
So
what
you
I
don't
mean?
have to worry
And-
about one meal. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Well, you don't have to worry about a couple meals if you take some stuff, put it in your purse, you know, for later.
Hello. Little breakfast on the side. You put make a little sandwich. You can
Go
make
on,
that
just go back
romantic.
to them bananas for later.
That's you
Yeah.
showing on me. You see me on the trip. We're like, oh, they
Yeah.
throw these apples.
Because I
tomatoes
think
up
we
there.
underestimate our kids. I think our kids just want the experience, right? They don't have to have,
Yep.
I remember when
PlayStation
my
9.
kids was younger, right? They just love the idea of going to a hotel, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think we put the pressure on ourselves where, it
I
has to
agree.
be all of this beachfront, all of that stuff. But again, I like what you said, like, look at your budget. And I think anything, you could really make any budget work. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
can, you can.
You
So
really
there's
can. So
There's no destined budget
Yeah.
for vacationing, right? When I tell you we've done miraculous things on hundreds of dollars, having hundreds versus spending thousands of dollars, on vacations. I've just gotten to the point where we're taking elaborate $10,000+ trips right now, but we taking 80 to 100 trips already. You know what I mean? On budgets that are less than probably $1,500.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is the time that you're willing to put in to find those things that stretch your budget to offer you the trip that you're looking for. That's all.
Bingo. Oh, y'all spit some facts. So y'all, hope y'all heard that right there. There's no excuse for you not to be able to do it. Take what you have. You can drive to a certain place. You can stay at wherever you can afford right now, but just the memories. And
it's the memories and the experiences.
Yes. And then looking at your own space right now, where can I cut before the trip comes up that'll help me? Like you named Starbucks, you named a couple different places that you spend it. Those J's that you might be, I gotta have them though. Which one is more important to you, the material things or the memories as you think through this?
Because I remember for me, even growing up, my mom and I, she was trying to go to Dallas. We went to Dallas. And I remember us taking a bus. Like she didn't have a lot at all. I think I mentioned before, my mom, we talked about like she only made like $13,000 a year. And she was like, how did we make it? But we did, right? But it was for me, I still remember that experience, us taking a bus out to Dallas and all of that stuff. And we stayed with my aunt and all of that stuff that and we was talking about even like we went to a restaurant and I wanted a steak. And so she told the waiter, bring her hamburger, take the bun off. And she put some A1 sauce. But to me as a child, that was memorable for me. I still remember that. And I was like 8 or 9 years old. So,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about making the memories.
And that's it to where you still remember that now today. So that's a great memory you guys had. I did some research, right? And so it was saying that many times people plan these trips, they go ahead and get the budget right, they drive to where they're going, and they're saying they didn't know the expectation of their partner, right? They didn't know what expectations they have. What are some things that you would suggest couples discuss before going on this trip? They finally planned it, finally booked it. What are things they need to discuss before going on? Just in case, there are two different expectations. I can give you some hints if anybody needs some hints.
Okay. Well, for me, I would say this. I'm trying to do better with that. I really am, because now I'm the type of person I plan detailed everything out. Here's the itinerary. This is what you need to wear. So I am trying to do a little bit better job to go to Jeff and be like, hey, what are some things that you want to do? Because naturally that does not come from me. I just like, this is what we're doing. Wear this shirt this day. And I plan our whole itinerary. So I am, so yeah.
All right. So then I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate that. So now she's saying on record, she's going to include me into the plans. Men, y'all hear that? Are y'all included in the plans when y'all go on the trip? Jerrica, I'm gonna slide to you before I say what I think, couples should talk about.
Do you include Antoine on the planning?
No.
You see that, Blake? You hear this? Straight through. Talk to us. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, when I say Antoine, should we go here? His answer is like, I don't care. Or I don't know.
Fair. That's
I don't
fair.
like, you're not helping me out with the planning. Oh, well, this costs 5,000. Oh, all right. Like, he don't say nothing. He don't be like, oh, that's too high. Yeah, he will. The only thing that if I say something that he does not want to do, all I get is no. But it's not like, no, how about this? Like, you giving me another option. It's just no. And I'm like,
No.
okay, you said no. Okay, what we gonna do? Like, give me something else. Like,
What's another option then? What's the
so I just asked him, the only thing I consult with him about are dates. I'm just like, bro, are you busy? From the November 27th through the 30th, and blah, blah, blah. Are you cool with that? Like, do you have anything planned? He's like, nope. We have a shared calendar too that we share via Google. So I put
my anybody.
there. Yeah, and so it helps. It definitely helps with planning activities. But I always make sure I just double check. Just to make sure that he doesn't have anything planned that he hasn't added to the calendar yet. But that's it. I mean, there's no point in like asking. Half the time my husband shows up and doesn't even know where we're going. Like he's like, oh, this is where we're going? What island did you say we were going to? And I'm like, we're going to Tortola, we're going to whatever. Like, he wouldn't know. He's just like, okay, I look in the suitcase, there's some drawers. And he got his good drawers in there too. And some swim trunks, because he knows we're going to a beach.
There you
and
go.
His flip flops. And he good. He got his Nike slides. He good. He's like, I'm down for whatever. And you know what his motto is? Our motto has become, because we've taken so many trips, that whatever we don't have, we'll just buy when we get there.
Okay. That's a great plan. We don't take much for us. With some beach, a little drink, a little frozen drink or something like that.
That's it.
We good. Some food and some good food. That's all it takes for us.
And I think too, it's just like, I know Jeff is very what's what I'm looking for. Jeff is very cheap. Okay. That's the word you came up with. There's no other words with it. So I think another reason why, I'm gonna be honest with you, the reason why I have not included Jeff as much on the planning side, because I feel like I don't want to have an argument before we go. And for me, it's like, it's not that because we don't have it, it's because he just like, well, that's just, his mind won't allow him to relax. So at least for me, I'm like, let me just go ahead and tell you, this is what we're doing. This is what it's going to cost. So, and so he be like, and so by that time, he don't have a choice. Like, it's almost forced upon him. Because otherwise, because Jeff would be like, well, I just don't understand. Why can't we do S, Y, do something, a cheaper version? No, I don't want a cheaper version. So it would start an argument. I'm just not in the mood to have an argument before.
Is most of the things you're saying are facts. I'll start there. To be honest with you, I just think that some of it is trying to find, because that was one of my questions too, of like, if you have somebody who is efficient and you have somebody that may want the best accommodations, how do you find that common ground? Something I was about to actually take it, but I don't want to get past this point of like, what do you want to discuss beforehand? So the ladies, you hear the ladies say it, don't discuss nothing with them. Tell them to put some drawers and socks in there and they'll be good.
Well, and look, so to Dana's point though, so my husband is the opposite of Jeff. Like, he doesn't care. Like, money doesn't matter when it comes to vacation. I am like, I want those things, but I want them at a Jeff cost.
Come
right?
on,
So I'm not going to sacrifice the luxury, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't want to pay for it. And I find the balance. That's where all the research and stuff comes in. My husband's like, I don't want that. And I think it's not so much it's not involving him though, because I do want to give him credit when I say this. I think he just trusts me because he knows what I like, and he knows I know what he likes.
For sure.
And so I take that all into consideration when I plan.
Makes sense. So y'all, which I'm not against what you guys are saying. I think you have to have somebody like y'all on a team. If not, you wouldn't really push that. So I do appreciate that about Dana. I don't think we would have been on as many trips as we would have.
No, if it was left up to Jeff, we'll be once a year.
I'm giving credit.
If it was left up to Jeff, he'll do the couples. He loves the couples. He loves the couples. He does. But if it was left up to him, he'll be like, "You gotta take these kids to somewhere." Like, it would be so basic for the kids, like, because for him, and that's what I tried to get Jeff to understand, because he didn't have that growing up. So I think it's a little bit more challenging for him. Like, well, why do we have to provide the kids experience? They got to work hard. They have to do it when they get ready. But I'm like, you want
One of my boys say.
Because that's how you sound. That's how you sound. I'm just saying.
So I will rebuttal that just a little bit. I do think that the trips for us, since we are the ones financially paying for it, need to be better than the one for these little crumb snatchers that they have a lot of things. But I'm not against. I think it's good now that I'm able to see that they do have those experiences. So anybody listening, watching right now, you do want to provide your kids a wonderful experience like that, so that they can normalize, come up to that point. What I wanted to touch on though was what to expect. These are some things of sex expectations.